Hello folks, today I'd like to give my impressions of the Astromaster long tube 60 millimeter. It's a lot like the 70 millimeter I reviewed, except it's got a slightly smaller aperture, 60 instead of 70 millimeters. It has focal length of 700 millimeters, which gives it a focal ratio of about 11.7. Has a one-speed rack and pinion focuser with a 1¼ inch diagonal, two eyepieces, 10 and 25 millimeter fossil style. Comes with a built-in red dot finder, and it comes on a rickety handlebar mount. I say rickety because I was out here trying to set this thing up last night, and I hit one of the legs on a little block of ice and it broke the leg. So I broke the mount for this. Fortunately, I had two pretty much identical mounts, in fact absolutely identical mounts, that I used for my National Geographic reviews. So this is the 70 millimeter National Geographic mount, which, as I said, is made in the same center plant, same production line. The only difference is, instead of having an orange cap here, it has a cap that says B on it, which stands for Bresser. As I said before, I don't like these rickety handlebar mounts. This scope at 60 millimeters is designed for absolute beginner. I was able to see, we had just about a full moon last night, so I could see that. I could see one of the cloud belts on Jupiter. I could see the rings on Saturn. Well, actually what I could see was a little small disk with a lump on each side of the disk. Oh, I was using a moon filter. This doesn't come with a moon filter. You'll need to buy a moon filter if you're hoping to use this for visual astronomy. It's not a bad little telescope, except for the mount. I just checked at Amazon. This is currently 135. The 70 millimeter is exactly like this, except it's got the 70 millimeter long tube. That's $115 more. I did take my Celestron Astromaster 70 millimeter and put it on. What I found was it was the mount's ricketier with that one because it's longer and heavier. Here's what I mean by rickety. Can you see that shaking? Every time you try to focus this thing, it's going to wiggle for a minute. Putting a counterweight in the eyepiece tray will help stabilize itself. But in case I haven't said before, I got myself this one. The optics in this are okay. Fully coated, like most all Celestron. Celestron makes good optics, so it's fully coated. The focuser is fairly smooth. The eyepieces are nice. And that's what I think about this. Yeah. It's like, kind of like, by the way, the 70 millimeter I said I liked a lot, mainly because of the mount. That's on an equatorial mount. Equatorial mount, you can't get this on equatorial mount, only the alt-azimuth handlebar mount. So if you have one of these, if you purchased one or it was given to you as a gift, you have a fine telescope. I wish you well with it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Go to the end of the video. They all gone? I don't recommend this. If you only got $120, $130 to spend, you're dying to have a refractor, I think the Celestron Travel Scope 70, which I reviewed, is a better buy than this. It's shorter, so you're not going to have as much magnification, and it's going to have more chromatic aberration. However, when you're looking for stuff, trying to find it here, it has a much broader, wider field of view, so it'll be a lot easier to see things. With this, you'll be right next to it, won't be able to see it. With the shorter one, with a broader field of view, it'll be easier to see. And if you're an absolute beginner, easier to see is a good thing. Also, a shorter focal throw, it goes out and in more, so it's easier to focus. And although it comes with a terrible rickety handlebar mount, it handles a camera mount. It handles the short tube 70 or the Celestron Travel 70 millimeter just as well as this one handles it. Okay. And that's what I think. I got one Astromaster telescope left, and that's the 130 millimeter Newtonian, which is my favorite of the Astromaster series, which is why I saved it for last. In a week or two, I'll have if I can stand the cold by that time, I'll have a review ready on that. And so until then, or until I see you again in some other video, happy trails.